Patrick Alvin on Elias Pettersson and a contract extension. I've had conversations with Pettersson's agent, Pat Brisson, and I met with his Swedish agent a couple of weeks ago when he was in town. We're continuing to talk and see where things go. Hopefully, we'll get a deal done sooner rather than later. He's at the end of his 3-year deal. We obviously know he was a bit of a rookie sensation when he came on the scene and is a huge asset for the Vancouver Canucks, Ripper.
Yeah, this one's tricky for me because I think Elias Pettersson from last year and what he's doing now has played himself into the conversation with the league's best. You know what I mean? And it's, you might be like, yeah, Ripper, I know he's leading the league in points.
But he's right there. Legitimately,
he's legitimately, for me, in that conversation now with, you might not agree with me, with Nathan MacKinnon, with Austin Matthews.
Funny you should mention that.
Artemi Panarin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would, he's in there with these guys. And if you go 2 years ago, he wasn't, but he is now. So you're talking a monster deal. So this, I don't know, maybe it doesn't take time. Maybe
is he making more than on that list?
I mean, he should be in that range. He's
really
like that. He's that good, and the fact that we're talking about him with those players shows how much progress he's made in his development.
Yeah, I think this is fantastic news for any Vancouver Canucks fan out there. This guy's the real deal. You talk about all the skills that he has. He's one of the smoothest players when you watch him move. A lethal shot. He's a great skater. There's a competitive edge, too. The physicality to him that doesn't stand out when you watch him play, but when you play against him and you see what he does in little battles, this guy brings it. He's physical, too, and I think this is just great news. And you know what? Nicely done with timing out your contracts to strike big. He's going to be a sought-after guy if Vancouver can't lock him up and they decide he needs to go somewhere else. But the time, it looks like it's now in Vancouver. And the way they've started, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but this is the time where they've got Hughes. They've got JT Miller signed up. They've got so many pieces, and Elias Pettersson's probably the biggest one. To get him locked up, yeah, the number's going to be massive, but you know, you got to plan for that if you want to keep great players around.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. I mean, I don't know. You're talking. I don't. We'll just throw a number out there. Like I think that you're talking north of 11.5, 12. Is that what we're talking? Like, I mean, it's got to be up in that range, I would guess.
And so he's got arbitration rights, as we were just reminded. So the power goes to him. You know, a one-year deal. What if this pace keeps up and he leads the NHL in scoring and perhaps he wins a major trophy? All of a sudden, you've got arbitration rights. That one-year number is going to be massive. So why not try to get something done that's going to be beneficial for everybody?
And make him the face of the franchise, which he arguably already is.
Or Quinn Hughes, or both of them. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's enough room on those billboards.
But this is where it gets tough, though, because yes, they love him. He's worth every penny. Like, this guy's a stud. We've said that. But you also have to project other guys that are part of the puzzle too. In Vancouver this year, his showing, they've got loaded talent on that roster.
Yeah.
So how do we keep this group together? Because yes, give him whatever he wants. I'd love to have. You have other guys who are unbelievable that you're going to have to pay too, and some that you already have paid, right? So it makes it very delicate. So I think you just sit there and you just pray that this cap keeps going up.
Yeah, you don't want to exactly. You don't want to reach that point in time where you have a one-horse team.
Good problems.
Good problems.
Good problems. Very good problems to have. Rupper, the Canucks now in second in their division with 23 points. Are you believing in the Vancouver Canucks? 11-3-1.
That's a tough one. I love a lot of things with them. Yes, thank you. I think what they're clicking at right now is not sustainable. Can they make the playoffs? Yes. I think at the end of the day, this is a great step for this organization. We're seeing Quinn Hughes might be the best defenseman in the league right now. Elias Pettersson, you can argue, is the best playing forward. JT Miller, I love him. He's a stud. Brock Boeser scoring goals left and right.
And goaltending.
Goaltending.
Right?
I mean, Demko. Geez, Casey DeSmith's been an awesome ad for them. They have a lot of things going for them. It's still so early, and of all the things I've seen from Vancouver in the past, I can't erase those memories. I think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to be leading the division.
See it in your face. There's like this
they will
PTSD.
Be,
like you're very cautiously optimistic.
For me, they're going to benefit on the struggles of the Edmonton Oilers in that division. the fact that Calgary hasn't found their footing, the fact that Seattle hasn't found their form from last year. That's all benefiting Vancouver. So they should be able to finish top 3 in that division. I don't know if they're going to finish top 2 in that division. They might go 3rd in that division or wild card.
No team in the league has surprised me as much as they had, and I didn't give them much credit coming in. I didn't think they'd be a playoff team, and we talked about this about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I said, you know what? I'm starting to believe. I think that they're a playoff team, and as time's gone on, they continue to win.
Yep. I
do think they've earned that. I do. They look like a playoff team to me. I don't think they're going to win a President's Trophy. I don't know if this percentage of winning rate is going to stay that high, but everything they've done points to the fact that this is a group that's growing, and they're only going to not get better from the wins they've had, but continue to grow as a team and take that next step that they didn't have last year and make the playoffs.
I feel like American Thanksgiving is usually like that perfect barometer to see where teams are at, and you have like a decent sample size that is large enough to see where a team really stands.
Yeah, but the other part of it too, though, is yes, we know the numbers are always good at who's making the playoffs and the American Thanksgiving. By that time, if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. Those are pretty good odds or numbers that we've seen in the past. But the other part is, the season gets harder, and I felt it as a player. Like the first 20 games are totally different feel than the next 20, then the next 20, then the next 20. Then it's like playoff time.
Different season.
And I've always thought the season is 3 different seasons in itself. There's the first half of the season, the second half of the season is completely different feel, and then the playoffs are a whole nother animal. And so we'll see if they can keep climbing. They look good right now. We'll say that.
That's the dad that's like, I asked to go do something. He's like, maybe. It's a hard maybe out of Mike Rupp.